Hi everyone. So today I thought I'll review this book for you. It's called The Painted Art Journal and it's by Jeanne Oliver. That's how I'm going to do it this time. It's a very interesting book that I have never heard of before I found it on Amazon when I was doing that big US Amazon book order, and it just looked so interesting to me. It looked very modern. So this book really is like a journal of an artist, and it has that very personal kind of feel to it, which I find very, very interesting. I always want to understand why the artist is creating the way they're creating, what makes them pick certain colors, certain textures, certain elements, and put it all together. So from that point of view, I find it very, very interesting. So when we look at the cover, the color scheme that you can see in the style is pretty much the style of the artist. It's very kind of vintage, and the colors there aren't too many colors, so it's not very colorful or bright. The colors are more of a muted tone, and that's pretty much what you get, is what you see on the cover, which might not be a cup of tea for everyone, but I think we can all find something very inspiring in this. So let's have a look. So basically this book has 24 projects. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is her style. I have to say some of the pieces, the art pieces, remind me a little bit of Ali Brown's style, you know, how she draws faces and these kind of charcoal loose lines. That reminds me a lot, but I think Ali Brown's is a little bit more colorful. So we get a look of the artist's studio, and she talks a bit about her childhood and how she was raised, I think in the countryside, and how that influenced her to see certain things. And all of that. So we get to see her art supplies. One thing that she makes very, very clear is that she doesn't want you to give the list of her exact art supplies, because she doesn't want you to feel forced to go and buy the exact same pencil or the exact same watercolor as she's using, because she wants to encourage you to look at all the art supplies that you have and use something similar, and you might not have the exactly identical result to hers, but that's not the point. The point is to be inspired and to be able to do something within your own style in a way. So so that could be a good point, but I always like to know the exact product that is being used by the artist. So for me, that is a little bit of a downer, but here is a good comprehensive list of certain things that she uses, and I think she tries to avoid putting brand names down, but she does do it in certain with certain mediums, like for example she says that Daniel Smith watercolors are my favorite because of the pigment and quality. So, but again, she encourages you to not go and buy that very same color she's using, but find something similar you already have. There are loads of fantastic quotes in the book. So start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, by Arthur Ashe, I think. So that's all very great. Here's a bit of a story and how she found her style and how she kind of made her history, her family history and everything let influence her art, basically. So here are some creative rituals. Now, when I said this book has a kind of like a modern feel to it, what I meant is it's very current. The aesthetics are very current. So rituals like relaxing, doing a bit of yoga, giving yourself a bit of calming time before you do some art. And by the way, I think this is the IKEA card, which I still have to order. I like the black one as well the best. So here she talks about her rituals, listening to some music, relaxing, and getting her thoughts together before she does art. Here's some fantastic collages, all very much in the color scheme that I already mentioned. The other thing I wanted to say is, if this isn't your thing in terms of colors, if you think it's a bit too vintage or a bit too dark, you can do a similar thing but with brighter colors. In fact, one of my viewers left a lovely comment that she owns this book, and she's actually very much fond of color still. She finds it very useful to get some ideas, and it gives you loads of projects, so you can totally just transfer the idea onto your own style, so you don't have to mimic and copy her work, basically. Loads of techniques, like, I've seen this a lot on YouTube, like using an old book that you can buy. I wouldn't do it to my books in my own library because they're very precious to me, but you can buy like vintage or used books in charity shops and things like that for a couple of pounds, because to create that effect, you can still do that without ruining books or good books. There are loads of rubbish books, so we shouldn't worry about those. So that's basically her style. Here I'll let you have a look what she says here. So create a portable watercolor palette. So that's quite interesting. She's doing what most of us do. Let me pull out mine. So this is one of my palettes. Here we go. You just find a little tin that you fill up with either full pans or half pans, whichever you find more comfortable, your very favorite colors. And she does it, and she I think you can get like a little sneak peek somewhere. I tried very hard to suss out the exact every color that she has in her palette, because funny enough, there are pictures which actually are blurred out on the names, but there was one picture that I could see what it was. Just trying to see. Is it this one? Anyway, there was one. Just want to see if I can find it. Okay, so here you kind of can see. So indigo, paints, grey. Unfortunately, can't see the middle one. Sepia. This is a cyanide, genuine. Suicide, genuine. This is the one I'm really on a hunt for. I've been looking at this for a long time. Not sure what this one is. And then we've got Verona Gold, whatever that is, Verona Gold. And then in the other I see buff titanium, rose, sienna, etc. So I don't think there is an exact list of her palette, but you can kind of see a couple of colors here and there, so she's very secretive about it. Here is her own quote: "Let's start where we are, with what we have, and make the whole world our studio." Great quote, very inspiring, and I guess it's a take on the first quote that I read. So that's that. And then you get onto these kind of projects where she teaches you a few things, like those fabric dyes and textures and all sorts of things, and they're gorgeous, beautiful projects, really. you know, I wouldn't necessarily go into this sort of perhaps color scheme as well, but I can certainly take certain elements from here and transfer it onto my own comfort zone. And the other thing she does, which I really love as well, she cuts out the little words or phrases from magazines and kind of stores them, and then just makes little sort of collages or kind of journal pages. She likes to use quite a bit of black, I think predominantly black gesso, although I can see this is an acrylic right here. I think gesso is technically acrylic as well. It's a heavy body acrylic, isn't it? Some paintings as well. So here's Composition 101. So she'll give you a few lessons. It's a very comprehensive book. I honestly can say there's loads of interesting things to read as well as to look at. And I wish I had more time to read on it and tell you more. I only had very little time. I promise you, I took this book a few times to bed with me to try and read a little bit before making this video. But it's just, I really have so little time lately, so I haven't had a chance, but I'm really looking forward to diving into this book because there's loads of fun stuff, you know, like drawing figures, people in different mediums. I love actually this sort of face paintings in a very loose, artsy way. It's something that I have been interested in kind of recently actually as well. So that's very good. It's really ticking all the boxes for me. And like I said, I don't mind that there is quite a bit of dark colors here, you know, because I know I can make something in my own color scheme. You know, it doesn't have to be the exact colors. So that is what it is, and it's really lovely, really fun book. I love it. I have to say that at the end I always try to give my impression of the book, and this book is definitely also one of my kind of favorite books that I have purchased. So I feel very happy with the picks and the choices I made when I did the Amazon order. Link will be below as always if you're interested, and if you want to support my channel, which I know many of you are doing it so well because this is how I bought these books. So thank you again. Have a lovely day. I'm filming on a Friday, and I tell you what, I am looking so much forward to the weekend. So have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you soon.